Imagine your business not just surviving, but thriving. Your wealth locked in, your opportunities exploding, and your family's future built on a legacy that never fades. I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional. I help entrepreneurs and high-growth enterprises protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth through my proven system, the Wall of Wealth. I unite your experts into one cohesive strategy because the most expensive line on your balance sheet isn't debt or taxes, it's conflicting advice. Ready to align every dollar with your mission and turn today's success into tomorrow's divine promise. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.
Happy Wealthy Wednesday, champions. We are live. Well, come on in. Grab your fuzzy bunny slippers. I want you to grab something good to drink. I actually am drinking coconut water. I've just been on this coconut water kick. I don't know if any of you love coconut water, but I definitely do, because you're going to want to kick for this talk conversation today. I'm telling you, it is going to be epic. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to learn a lot. This is going to be a deep dive conversation. And really, I kind of want to take a minute to really explain why this conversation is so important to me. Because I do a lot of conversations, I bring a lot of information, but today is very, very special because I have been talking about coffee chats, no pitch coffee chats for several years. And I don't think that I've really been noticed that anyone has noticed that I've been talking about that, or maybe it's just recently it's become a thing. I had no idea when I started really being vocal about no pitch coffee chats that it would cause such a disruption and be so controversial. I just thought I was sharing some information. And when I did a couple of posts about it, I actually got many people in my DMs. I got many people calling me out saying, Leah, you don't really do no pitch coffee chats. You're really just trying to sell them something. And I got other people telling me, you know what, coffee chats, what are you talking about? That's a waste of time. What are you doing if you're not pitching your business? What are you going to talk to someone about if you're not trying to sell them something? And then other people will say, well, I kind of see the idea, but what do you talk about? And let me just share this with you. I believe that we need to learn how to have conversations with people. And if they're in your network, why wouldn't you want to have a conversation with them? I mean, you never know what treasure is there. Maybe, yes, maybe they may want some of my services. Maybe there's something I can help them with. Maybe there's someone I can connect them with. Maybe there's someone that they can connect me with. Maybe we're just two humans and we have a human connection. I just think we take so little time to truly talk to each other. We do all of this. We do the text message. We do the social media. We slide in people's DMs. We talk about them on social media. But how much conversations do we really have? I think a no pitch coffee chat, I've said it before, I'm hoping it goes viral. Okay. And if it's disruption, I'm the disruptor, because I truly am a disruptor in everything that I do. The way that I do financial services is a disruption. The way that I do how I roll coffee chats is a disruption. And I think that is really who I am. What am I going to say? Right? I'm a rebel. I'm just a rebel. So I want to thank you for allowing me to share that with you. And I'd love to know, what do you think about no pitch coffee chats? I met my honored guest here, my featured guest, through a no pitch coffee chat. And we had a dynamic conversation. I adored her. I was watching her all over social media, and I just wanted to talk to her. I wanted to get to know her. And initially, it didn't seem like there was anything we could really kind of collaborate on. And then we started talking about how she shows up on social media, how she shows up as truly all in the comments, rah-rahing other people. And I just wanted to highlight that. I thought it would be an incredible conversation. All of you, I'm sure you know who she is. She needs no introduction, but I'm going to do my very best to introduce her. Her name is Coach Carrie. We all know her affectionately, right, as Coach Carrie. And I want to just share with you that she has over 20 years of experience as a former educator. Coach Carrie Willis is also a visibility strategist and licensed financial coach. who enjoys helping professionals build confidence, clarity, and leadership presence. She specializes in helping entrepreneurs strengthen their personal brands, elevate engagement on social media, and turn conversations into opportunities. I'm going to say that again. This is what she does. She turns conversations into opportunities. Known for her direct style and strategic mindset, Carrie uses her unique educational approach to teach leaders how to show up with purpose and build relationship equity that compounds over time. I'm going to say that again. It compounds over time. If you have one coffee chat one time, that doesn't compound. One times one is still one. But if you do it day after day, week after week, that's when it compounds. Her philosophy is simple. Confusion is expensive. Clarity builds confidence and builds engagement, which builds equity. I absolutely love that. And that is what we're talking about today, how building equity isn't just about being visible. It is about having the conversation. So without further ado, please give it up for my incredible guest speaker, the one, the only, Coach Carrie Willis. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday, my dear. You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me as a guest on your show. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. And I would love for you to just talk about these coffee chats, since apparently they're so controversial. What would you share about that, Coach Carrie?
Well, I absolutely love coffee chats, and I understand people's resistance to having those coffee chats, especially with people that you don't know. And so sometimes it can appear, depending on how the message is framed, that you are planning to ambush them later during the conversation. But a no-pitch coffee chat is exactly that, and that's why it's prefaced with the words no pitch, to kind of minimize some of that anxiety that people might have about getting into a conversation with people. But if you send someone a connection request and that someone accepts that connection request, to me, that means that you want to have a conversation with me. We are not here to collect likes, because likes don't pay bills. We are here to engage in conversations with people that can lead to opportunities to build relationships that for you and that other person could potentially lead to a partnership. That partnership might lead to just having someone in your community as a resource, but it can also lead to an opportunity to build income as well. And if you are opposed to building income, well, then Leah and I are not the people that you want to connect with, because we're all about that money. Okay, it's Wealthy Wednesday.
Beautiful. And it is Wealthy Wednesday. Thank you so much. I love that. You bring so much clarity. We're talking about engagement builds equity, why visibility alone isn't enough. So kick us off in this conversation. Why is visibility alone not enough?
Well, visibility alone is not enough, because visibility simply means that you have likes. It might mean that you have some comments, but it does not mean that you actually have engagement that's leading to equity. So for instance, on my Facebook platform, I have about 7,000 followers, but the engagement is very low. So I can post something and nobody comments, nobody actually responds in the comments. But when I look at the analytical data, there's over 1 million views. So just because you have likes does not necessarily mean that you have engagement. And then if you look on another platform, I'll use my TikTok platform, for example. I have about 1,500 connections on TikTok, but my engagement, my visible engagement, shows over 14,000 likes. And I have one video that has about 78,000 views. And so just because somebody likes, just because somebody comments, just because somebody even shows up to your live events, does not mean that you're actually engaging to the point of collaboration and building equity. It's nice to do the likes. It's nice to do the comments. We appreciate them because that does boost the algorithm. And let me be clear about the comments. It should be 2 to 3 words or more meaningful engagement in the comment section. So if you just say, sometimes I'll say, hey, to people, and then I'll put my little emojis after that. Or for instance, somebody might say happy Wednesday or hello. But when you're actually engaging in the conversation, leave comments that connect to what's being said on the stage, so that after the show, the people who participated in the show that can't comment with you can actually go back and respond intelligently to something that you have said. And so when you only leave 1 or 2 word comments with no context and no meaning, it makes it harder to keep the conversation going.
Yeah, and I also think of it as that's part of your branding.
Mm-hmm.
You get an opportunity to showcase who you are, even if you're talking about puppy dogs, and maybe you don't sell puppy dogs, but you get to give your perspective about puppy dogs. I think that we're in such a kind of microwave society that we think it's just about let me just have this conversation. Let me see what I can sell to Coach Carrie, and if she's not buying it, then I'm out of here. I'm done. And you know what? I've learned so much about these no pitch coffee chats. I've learned so much about people. I've learned so much about myself. And by the way, sometimes these coffee chats, I learned that they're people that I don't want to be connected with. That's a golden nugget right there. I got to say, I'm going to shout myself out. Sometimes I learned that they're not really the right person that they're, and you can learn a lot about people in 15 minutes. And I'm just going to leave it there. I want to welcome a few people who've joined us. I saw the first one here and I just lit up. I was so excited. Benjamin Ashley, he is one of my first new friends, one of my new friends that I met lately, and I haven't had the opportunity to enjoy a coffee chat with him. But Benjamin, let's have a coffee chat. I met him through his incredible comments with somebody else's event. And that's really what it's about. My mentor said this to me about 2 years ago. He said, Leah, it's no longer who we know. It is who knows you. How many people know you and can effectively communicate who you are and what you do? So welcome. Thank you for joining. And of course, we've got, if you want to follow Coach Carrie, she's got her information here on her Facebook. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We are live here on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on Facebook. Let us know where you're finding us. And we also have Layla. Layla. Great to see you, Layla. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. And then, of course, Coach Carrie. She's this girl is a queen of comments. I'm telling you, her fingers are just typing on fire because I see her here. She's going to be commenting, by the way, as we're doing this, just so you know, okay? She's a typing maniac. I love it. We're not sure who you are, LinkedIn user. Let us know you're showing up as LinkedIn user, but welcome. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining in the conversation. And I actually adore this woman, Jackie Holberg. She does so much for our community. She hosts Just Jacks. She's so eloquent and elegant. And also she has the most incredible voice. We have a date. She's going to read me my bedtime story. I've got the book picked out. I absolutely want her to. I just love her voice. I wish I had her voice, but we appreciate you, Jackie. Thank you for showing up. And then one of my good friends, he was actually one of my first guests, the great and one and only Chris Monastery. His mission is to help save teen lives and really on a crusade to help eliminate distracted driving. He calls it saving teen lives, but I'm going to say it's saving everybody's lives. How many people are distracted with their driving? They're using their phones, and I've even watched people doing lives while they're driving. I'm just like, this is craziness. Thank you, Chris, so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for the work that you do. And then we have the one and only Miss Lisa Favec. She is our menopause mentor, but I'm going to say she is everything health. If you want to improve your health, whether you're a woman, no woman, want a woman, right? You want good health, connect with our menopause mentor, the one and only Miss Lisa Favec. And then we have, of course, Rosie. I call her Rosie. Sharon Rose Winfield. I call her my Gita girl. If you want to know about gratitude, if you want to know about how to flip the script on if your day's going a little wonky, connect with my Gita girl. I mean, I'm calling her Gita girl, okay? She goes by Rosie Reckons, but her and I go way back. We've gone deep, right, Rosie? We have gone really, really deep. So great to see all of you here. I love this. I think I've welcomed everyone. Bob James, welcome. Great to see you here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Linda, oh my gosh, my good friend Linda, great to see you. And we've got this great comment. Oh my gosh, look at Jackie. She says, love seeing you two together. Boop, boop, two power women. You know it, of course. And I think that's everyone. Oh, Jay, great to see you, Jay. Thank you for tuning in. Amazing to have you. I love it. I love the conversation. And by the way, what comments or questions do you have for Coach Carrie? Because she's really going to talk to us about visibility. A lot of times I talk to entrepreneurs who are struggling, but they're working hard. They're getting up early. They're staying up late. They're missing birthday parties. They're working weekends. They're burning that midnight candle. They're doing all the things, but they're not making those conversions. And I will ask them, I'm just curious, how many coffee chats have you done last week? The answer is usually one or none. And I asked them also, and I'm glad I'm highlighting Nick for a reason. She made a comment the other day in one of her lives. She asked, if you published a book today, do you have 50 people who would purchase your book just simply because of who you are? And the other part I asked is, do you have 50 people in your network that you've brought value to them with asking nothing in return? How many people have you brought value to? And I'm asking the audience to ask themselves, but I know, Coach Carrie, you bring value to everyone. So tell us why you are so valuable to, why are you so, is it naturally that you are a giving person, or you understand how to do this and highlighting other people, or is it the skill that you've honed and learned?
That is a great question. One of the ways that I am valuable is simply just by being myself and trying to give value to other people. My mother, who passed away at the age of 39, has a saying that I absolutely love: live your life in such a way that other people are blessed just because they know you. And I carry that forward in honor of my mother's memory, to make sure that I am a blessing to the people who know me. I may not have services that you want or need, but I'm sure that you know someone who wants or needs my services. And you may have services that people in my circle need that I am not able to offer. And so that is the benefit of collaboration, of genuine, authentic, meaningful collaboration. And if you don't do the engagement piece, that's where the equity lives. So if you don't do the engagement piece, there's going to be very little opportunity to bless people. Leah and I are in similar fields, but we do different things. But we have licenses in states I'm licensed in, she doesn't have the license in. And the states that she's licensed in, I'm not licensed in. And so if I meet someone that's looking for her services, why wouldn't I refer them to somebody that's in my circle that I trust? And trust is a very big part of what I do. And that's why it's important for me to meet people. And I'm so glad that you talked about, there are sometimes people that you meet that may not be a good referral source for people who are in your circle. But the more we meet people, the more we share what other people are doing, the more that we learn about people, the more opportunities we have to bless people who are not in our personal circle. They used to say that there are 6 degrees of separation between everybody that you know and everybody that you want to know. And the truth of the matter is that statement was developed before social media. And so now with social media, you're really 1 to 2 people away. You're a click away. You're a cell phone button away. And so the more we share each other's information, I'm not afraid of competition, baby, because I'm number 1 in my space, period. And so I don't have a problem sharing other people's information, even if we're in the same industry. I love that Leah said, and you all have to go back and look at her post for this event. She said, we're taking the gloves off. And I love that, because a lot of times people in similar spaces feel like they have to fight. And when we had our coffee chat, that was part of the conversation. It was a little glovey. And she's like, well, I'm not really sure, like she mentioned in the intro, that there's space for us to collaborate. And then the light bulb came on for both of us. We said we can collaborate on collaboration, right?
There you go. That's
we are collaborating on collaboration, because what we do in our individual spaces blesses people's lives. But people in my circle don't know Leah. They'll meet her today. And people in Leah's circle don't know me. Well, they'll meet me today. And there's room for everybody. There's billions of people on this planet. There is room for all of us. And when you get your talk together about who you are and who you are not, there is more space and more room and more opportunities for people to refer you, because you have that confidence about who you are, and it comes across in that collaboration.
Mic drop, golden nugget, golden bar. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to highlight though really quick. Would you repeat that quote again? I want somebody who's a great typer to put it in the comments. The quote from your mom. I absolutely love that. Before we go on, would you say that again, Coach Carrie?
Absolutely. My mother said, "Live your life in such a way that others are blessed just from having known you." And that's really the way that I live daily in this space, and that includes myself. That's honoring my health. That's honoring my wealth, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and my connections with other people, is living your life in such a way. I don't put things in my body that can hurt me. I honor myself as well. And so making sure that you're honoring yourself, because you have to be able to give to others. That's part of humanity. But you don't want to give so much that you have nothing left. So you have to replenish yourself. That community of people that you collaborate with, that's how you get replenished. And then you give from the overflow. You give from the overflow. You don't give from your cup. And I have a friend who says, "I am the cup." I love that phrase. I'm going to steal that from Cachet. But being the cup and having a full cup means that you have overflow, and then you're more generous and authentic in your giving. You're not giving from a point of desperation. You're not giving from a point of exhaustion. You're giving from the overflow of your equity.
Love it, love it, love it. My good friend Cassandra Terry says it this way: what goes to the cup is for us. What spills out into the saucer is for others. And you just brought up a point that I really want to highlight, is that one of the reasons I love doing No Pitch Coffee Chats is because I love to bring value to other people. I'm constantly thinking of who can I connect them with? How would this help them? Because listen, you are really 1 or 2 degrees of separation from where you are to where you want to be. You never know who that conversation is. So if you're having these No Pitch Coffee Chats, I would ask, who is a person that you, if you met them, would totally change your business, would totally change your life? Like tomorrow, it would be rainbows and puppy dogs and everything would be golden. So it's not just about selling the thing. If you're there just constantly selling your widget, you are missing the treasure. If I was there trying to sell Coach K, or she was trying to sell me, we wouldn't even be here. And look at the value that it's come. And we've only been here a few minutes already. So I think that when we learn how to be good givers, we will look at having those conversations so much differently. And I know people who are really good givers, but we also have to be good receivers. Allow them to give you an opportunity for them to pour into you, right? And then from there, it's called professional courtesy. That's another show. We should talk about that one, but we're not going to go there today. I want to highlight this comment. Jay has a great comment. This is a man after my own heart. Networking doesn't cost a thing. Who doesn't like the word free? And I'm going to tell you, free is one of my favorite F words, okay? I call it the 7 Fs. Now I just realized it's really the 8 Fs. Faith, family, fun, finance, fitness, philanthropic, because givers gain, and food, and free, right? We like the free things, but we like the valuable free things. Don't give me the bottom of the barrel. Don't give me the day-old bread. I want the crust on the top. I want the top level. I want the tier 1 stuff. And you said something that I want you to talk more about, that oftentimes people think there's competition. They say, oh, I look in my space and there's so many other people doing what I'm doing. There's so much competition. I just don't know. I have this vision. I have this dream in my heart, but I feel like there's so much competition. What would you share about that, Coach Carrie?
What I would share about that, Leah, is knowing what space you're in. Once you know what space you're in, and once you know who you are, you can stand anywhere with anyone. For instance, when Ray Kroc started the McDonald's company, and there's a history behind him buying the company, you all can research that. But for the purposes of this conversation, a lot of people are mistaken that those golden arches of McDonald's is a restaurant business. McDonald's is not in the restaurant business at all. Their burgers are all right. You saw the CEO, right? So their burgers are okay. However, McDonald's is in the real estate business. Location, location, location. There, you can hardly go within 15 miles and you see 2 or 3 McDonald's, but you also see all of these other restaurants, KFC's, Popeye's Chicken, Red Lobster. There is enough space for everyone, and it's really about the real estate. So my question to you all is, what space are you willing to take up? What space are you willing to take up? What is your value in terms of real estate? As a licensed clarity coach, I take up real estate in 3 specific areas, but what space do you take up when you are marketing your business, when you are branding yourself? See, for me, this right here, baby, this is my golden arches. And so I am the brand. I am the brand. And so when you see my profiles, you'll see the exact same picture across all of my profiles on every single platform. My name is Great Finances. That's my website. That's my company name, but it's the same handle. You don't have to guess about where I am. You don't have to guess about how to find me, because when I meet someone, depending on your age, depending on your income, maybe you're a person who's on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram under the exact same handle that you can find me on LinkedIn. But you have to know, where is your audience at? But before you know your audience, you have to know yourself, define your space, and then stand in it with authenticity, and stand in it proudly.
Boom, boom, boom. Here's the thing. Who are you when the camera's off? Listen, we all look the same when we do our selfie, we polish it up and do all those things. But who are you when you do those coffee chats? Are you the same kind of person? So many times I will meet somebody and they are a completely different image. They don't look the same. They don't speak the same. They don't use the same words. I'm like, this person is not congruent. I'm not going to diagnose you. I'm not a therapist, but I'm just saying I'm going to keep it rolling. Okay, I'm going to keep it moving here. There is a question I want to highlight by Bob James. And if you have a question for Coach Carrie, put in the chat. It's a long question, so it's going to kind of block our faces for a second, but I do want to highlight it. There you go. We still see it. Okay, we're good. Bob James says, I showed up pretty hard in 2024 with weekly community events and 60 plus coffee chats, but wasn't able to nurture and sustain relationships. Do you have any tips for staying top of mind and staying in touch with potential new friends? Amazing questions. So what would you share about that, Coach Carrie?
I would say be the type of friend that you want to have. Mm-hmm. And so for me, the coffee chats is really about building professional relationships, and you will not always get reciprocity. So for instance, when somebody has a live show on LinkedIn, I'll use that specific example. I see the live show, I click attend, and I intentionally click add to calendar, because if it's not on my calendar, I'm not doing it. As an entrepreneur, my calendar is my boss. And right. So if it's not on my calendar, it's not getting done. And so I click attend, I click add to calendar, and then I show up and I show out. Now, you all want to know my secret. My goal is to have the most comments at any event that I am present at. Try to beat me. Listen, try to beat me. Okay, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible. But my goal is to authentically engage as much as possible. So I go to events that interest me. I go to events where I'm able to provide support to people. And my goal is to add value so that not only the speaker is getting that algorithm boost, but also the people who are reading the comments are getting value from what I'm saying as well. And then I make sure that I share that event on my platform. It doesn't matter if it's my event. It doesn't matter if I'm going to get clients from that event. I actually share that event on my platform, even if I'm not a guest on that event. Now, when you do that, you hope for reciprocity, but that's not my intention, because people who are authentic will then show up to my events. Right. They will comment on my events. I've been to a lot of people's events and they've never attended any of my events. most of the time when I go to events, there's a minimum of 100, and those are probably my comments, but their events end up with 200, 300, 400 comments because of the back and forth and because of the engagement and the conversations. And some of those people have not gone to my events. So you have to prioritize your schedule. And so I'll go to everybody's events, but when the reciprocity is not there, I pull back and then I find another event that I can attend, because the goal really is, as a human being, the goal is reciprocity. And that doesn't mean that you have to become my client, but there are ways that you can engage, and there are ways that you can build equity and transfer equity back and forth between others by sharing the events, attending the events, letting your network know about the event. And the more you do that, the more likely you are to have those relationships reciprocated. So if you went to 60 different coffee chats or 100 coffee chats, and those coffee chats did not return on investment, that's ROI, then that just means that you got to do 60 more, because sometimes it is a numbers game. And if you're at the beginning of a meeting and you don't find value, or the person is not interesting, everybody doesn't have a podcast that I meet with. So some people, there's no way for me to go to their show, if you will, because they don't have podcasts. So what other ways can I support them? One of my great friends, Layla, who's on here, we met through a coffee chat. Well, she does hot chocolate chats because she's not a coffee drinker. Love that. So we met through a coffee chat. But now, and that was not even a month ago, but we talk on the phone almost every single day. And by phone, I mean Facebook Messenger, because she lives in Canada, right? I live in the United States, in the Midwest, but we have conversations every day. We've started a podcast. We've only done one episode, but we started a podcast, and then we're working on a business that we want to start together as well. And so she doesn't have her own podcast, but there are other ways that I can pour into her, encourage, support. And there are ways that she pours into me. Carrie, slow down. Do you really want to go to that event? What type of equity or return on investment are you going to get on that event that you're intending? So she helps to balance me. And you want people who are going to be honest with you. You want people who are going to have integrity. So what I would say to Bob from the United Kingdom is just make sure that you give of yourself in a way to people where there's going to be a return on your investment. And so I'm very specific with the types of questions that I ask during my coffee chats. And I'm very specific about the email that goes out when somebody confirms. I'm very specific about the reminder emails and the conversation. Have your camera on, be stationary and not driving, because I really want you to be present with me in the conversation. But one of the specific questions that I ask on every single coffee chat is, how can I support you? And a lot of people, Leah, they're shocked by that. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, you want to support me? Well, let me think about it. And so sometimes it's just subscribing to somebody on YouTube, subscribing to somebody on Substack, sharing their post. If they have if they're looking for work, maybe sharing a post that that they're looking for work. So there are so many different ways to support people, and support does not look the same for every person that you come in contact with.
1,000%. So if you've done 60 coffee chats, remember, it doesn't compound immediately. Nothing compounds immediately. And I think too many people give up too soon. If you did 60 coffee chats over a year, that's one thing. But if you did 60 coffee chats in a week or even in a day, listen, it's 7 minutes. You can carve out 5 minutes and do 60 coffee chats in a day. I would really ask you that question, Bob. What was the time period? Because compound pounding happens when you start gaining interest on things you've never invested. And that doesn't happen until you've done it, and you've done a lot in a short period of time. And that's when it can become compound interest, becomes compound pounding. And when you can show up, just like what Coach Carrie is sharing with us, and truly put yourself aside and really focus on that individual, maybe you need to learn I'm not saying, Coach Bob, that you need this, but I'm just saying, ask yourself, do I need to work on my listening skills? Do I need to take time and learn how to be interested interested instead of interesting? Did I really take the time and look at their profile to see something about them that maybe we do have something in common with, or that I could offer something? I could ask a question. Maybe you're going to learn about fishing. I don't know what it is, but when you bring a different energy, you're going to have a different result. If I brought the energy of, well, you know what, Coach Carrie, who are your clients? Let me see what I can pull from you. What can I share? We would not be here today. We just would not be here today. So I love that. There is a comment I want to highlight. It's a long comment again. It's going to cover us up. So get on your tippy toes. But I want to highlight this because it's from somebody I absolutely adore, the great Cristina Salgado. We'll do it that listen. You got to do it like that. I love it. She is actually hosting something everyone needs to attend. It is how to make your $10,000 a month, your first $10,000 a month. Look at her LinkedIn for the event details. Cristina Salgado says this: the secret isn't hacking an algorithm nobody actually controls. It's being radically transparent about why we're even talking. I retired the coffee chat because respecting someone's time means being clear about the goal. In my world, every chat fits into one of three buckets: cheerleader, someone who shares vision; collaborator, who builds it alongside; or clients who need strategy intensive. When the intent is clear from the first DM, the win happens before the call even starts. What do you say?
I love that she said that the win happens before the calls even start. That's absolutely true. So for me, hey, Jedi J. So for me, that's very true. I'm very intentional when I send the first DM after the connection request. But it's funny, sometimes people beat me to the first message, and it's usually a pitch. I'm like, my goodness, I don't even know who you are. And it's like, I have this product to sell. Would you like to buy this product? Buy this product. I have this product. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even know who you are. You don't even know if I need your product. You don't know if I want your product, because need is from a poverty mindset. Want is a prosperity mindset. However, you have no idea who I am, what I do, what my resources are, if I have anybody that may be interested in your product. But if you ambush me, I know you're going to ambush my circle. So then I'm not interested in introducing you to people that I know as a way of doing business. But the other thing that happens inside of DMs is sometimes I'll reach out to people and they'll say, oh, I'm not interested. My calendar is full. Why are we connected? Like, if you don't have 15 minutes to have a conversation with someone that you're connected to, and I'm sorry to be petty, but I will disconnect with, I will disconnect, because why are we connected? The whole point of connections, and I love LinkedIn for that they don't call it friends, because my friends and I have very special relationships that are deep and long-term. And so I have to make sure as a parent that I caution my son that when you're accepting these requests, these people are not actually your friends. We don't know them yet. We don't know their family yet. But in terms of the connection on LinkedIn for adults, when you make that connection, the goal should be to build a relationship. The goal should be to build a relationship with that person. Otherwise, I don't just need numbers, because numbers means very little on social media. In particular, it means something when you're looking to monetize social media. But if you're just looking to build relationships, the numbers don't matter, because you can have 1 million people on your social media platform, but how many of those people are actually engaging? And I see people with 30,000 LinkedIn connections, but they'll have 15 people at their event. I see people with 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, but they may have 1,000 views or 2,000 views. So how many people who are connected to you or following you or subscribing to you are actually engaging?
1,000%. And I'm going to add this, or just really highlight your comment, because I will absolutely do this. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one. If they won't even say, maybe at some point we'll have a coffee chat. If they just say, no, not interested, leave me a note, don't bother me. Why are you messaging me? I'm like, why did you connect with me? You know what? Don't worry. You go do you. Unconnect, unfollow. I wish you well away from me, right? Not everybody is going to be my jam, and that's okay. But I'm just always curious, like, why do they connect with me anyway? Anyhow, here we go. Here's a great question from Rachel. She says, how do you define equity through engagement?
Okay, great question. So equity through engagement is that there's a return on your investment from engaging with people. So Rochelle, when I engage with someone, the goal is to get a return on my investment. Not always for me, sometimes it's for them. And the equity means that I am building from that starting point. So somebody mentioned that the win starts in the direct message. If the conversation never leaves the direct message, to me, that's not a win. So it is a win when we start in the DMs and we're, as Leah says, that's my jam, and we're having this back and forth conversation. But now we want to take it to the next level. So even in terms of finances or in terms of engagement, equity is something that you want to increase. You want it to grow. You want it to build. So what happens from the DMs? Well, the next step for me is we are now going to have this no pitch coffee chat. Why? Because I want to know who you are as a person. I want to know who you are as an individual. I know financial products. I know real estate. I know other products and services that people have. Most of us have seen or heard. But what makes you unique that I should introduce you to people that I know? Because my people popping. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. So why should I introduce you to my circle? 9 times out of 10, when I introduce somebody from my circle, they end up as people want them to be a guest on their show. And that's fine. But what are you bringing to the table for that return on investment? So it goes from the DM, then it goes to the coffee chat. And the purpose of the coffee chat really is no pitch. I know what you sell from your profile. So I want to know who is the person behind the product. I'm interested in people, because really, I don't care what your business is. People is the product. Because without people, you don't have sales. Without people, you don't have growth. Without people, you don't have equity. So I want to know, who are you as a person? Can I trust you? Can I trust you in a relationship with the people that I know? And a lot of times people might say, well, 15 minutes is not a lot of time to get to know a person. It's enough time to start understanding who that person is, right? And so that's the way that I would answer that. You want something that is going to continue to compound, to build over time. Albert Einstein is credited with saying that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. And he was speaking relative to money, and either you're using it or it's being used against you. And so in terms of finances, absolutely. But you know what? The biggest wealth that you have is your relationship with people. If you get sick, if you get tired, if you get hungry, you're not looking around for a dollar bill to come give you a warm blanket or to give you a hot towel to put on your forehead. You're looking for people. You're looking for the doctors, the nurses, the teachers, the educators, the financial experts, the builders. You're looking for people who will pour into you. And you get that really, really by pouring into other people. So that's what I mean when I say equity through engagement, is having those conversations that continue to build over time. It might build into a friendship. It might build into a relationship. There are people that I met on LinkedIn. Now we go live on TikTok. And my Monday is really my engagement day. So I go to the most number of shows on Mondays. You know how people, Leah, they binge watch television shows? I used to binge watch Seinfeld. That's one of my favorite shows, master comedian. But now I'm like, well, Seinfeld, there's really no return, right? Outside of the laughs, which I love. Laughter is food for the soul. But what if I binge watch some live streams, right? Where I can actually have conversations with people and engage in people where there's a potential return on my investment, whether it's them coming to my show, me going to their show, me helping somebody in their community, them helping somebody in my community. So that equity is really about compounding the giving over time.
Yeah, so brilliant. And we don't all have to be the est, okay? You're not going to be the est in every category. Nobody's the est in every category. I don't have to be the most, I always say it this way. I don't have to be the smartest person in the room. I just have to know the smartest person in the room. And we have to be willing to be humble and give other people an opportunity to shine. And guess what? When you give other people an opportunity to shine, that shine does come and it glows on you too. Okay. It's just the way it works. And when it comes to reciprocity, it's not a one for one. Let me give you this and then you're going to give me that. I'm going to give you this, you're going to give me that, because that is actually not reciprocity. Reciprocity is giving something with no intent to receive, right? You're giving true value. You're inviting someone to be a speaker. You're connecting them with someone that can help them. You're giving them a book or something that would be valuable to them. And it will, by osmosis, it will come back to you. You've heard givers gain. It's because they do. You can never outgive the giver. And when you give out of abundance, you're going to receive out of abundance. And when we give out of lack and scarcity and we're competition, that's not reciprocity. I don't care how much you give. There's a great comment here also. I think Coach Nick Guy Galindo, I'm not sure if this was a question. Let's see. I'm not sure if this was a question. If it was something I missed. If it is, please let me know. I'd love to give it over to Coach K. Coach Carey. I know Coach K also. Okay. Coach Carey. And here's a question by Jay. Where do you see yourself in the future?
That is a great question, Jedi Jay. I live in the present, right? So I like to live in the present because that is the gift. And so I'm very focused on where I am now, where I am today. And so there's a great book that I always refer anybody that's on a self-development journey. It's called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. That book is so good because she takes you, if you're willing to do the work. And now Brianna, she will get on your nerves. I'm the type of person that when I'm really into something, I give it a nickname. So I call her Bree Bree. Okay. Now Bree Bree really takes you back to your childhood. You deal with whatever stuff from your past, which I think is so important. A lot of people miss that step. I was one of those people when I say a lot of people. So I went back and I said, oh, I didn't even know that was an issue. But you go back into your childhood, Jedi Jay, and you actually heal yourself by taking ownership. It's such a powerful move. And then you look at where you are in the present. But she does something that I think is phenomenal. She has you go and meet your future self. And baby, she is fierce. Okay. And so I absolutely loved that experience because I'm like, okay, you just calm down because, you know, everything is going to be phenomenal. And so because I know that based on that experience I had in the book, I live in the present. What is the lighting? What are the smells? What are the senses? How do I feel internally? When I'm having a conversation, even this conversation, I am actively engaged. I'm not thinking about what I have to do later. I'm not thinking about if I'm hungry. I'm not thinking about what I have to drink. I'm not thinking about anything except for listening to understand. I'm not just listening. So, oh, is it my turn to talk? I'm actually listening to the question so that I can understand the question with the intention to answer. But before we move on, if I may, I want to extend your answer on reciprocity.
Please do.
You said reciprocity is not giving with the intent to receive. And I believe that reciprocity is not giving with the intent to receive from that person.
That's right. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah, so I just want to extend that because I may give something to Leah, but that doesn't mean I'm expecting Leah to give something back to me. My expectation, my requirement, my demand is that the universe provides reciprocity for me. And that is non-negotiable. So it doesn't have to come from Leah. It may come from my son. It may come from myself. It may come from somebody that I knew from my past. It may come from somebody that I'm going to meet in the future. But the universe is rewarding the generous giver. And so when you give, don't become upset if those people that you had a coffee chat with, or those people that you shared their post, or those people that you attended their event, if they don't return it to you. I've had 30 guest requests to speak on somebody's show. 30 plus in less than 60 days. That's reciprocity. And it's not that those people have to be on my show. When it first started, I didn't even have a show, to be honest. I didn't even have a show. And so I love that reciprocity can come from anyone.
Yes. Thank you for clarifying that. That's what I intended to say, but absolutely, because we have to expect to receive. Otherwise, it will go to someone else. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And James, I'm not sure where this question is relating to. Can you share a real life example? If you could clarify that, I will look for it in the comments, because we would love to answer your question. And absolutely. Let's see. How can beginners, this is great. This is a great question. How can beginners start building engagement? By Paul.
I love that. So, one of the ways that beginners can start building engagement is by having your DM message that you're just going to copy and paste when somebody connects with you. You really want to have that message structured in such a way that it minimizes other people's anxiety. But even prior to you sending the direct message, you need to have a place where people can actually meet with you for the coffee chat. So I personally use Calendly. Some people use Acuity, some people use Google Meet, but you want to have that space set up so that when you meet with people, you actually have your environment ready. I encourage people to get a great microphone. Hopefully you all can hear me clearly on my pink Fi-Fi mic. You can't see the pink right now, but that's my favorite color. So make sure you have a great microphone. Make sure that you have great lighting. Make sure that your wardrobe and your attire represent the way that you want it to represent. If you're going to do coffee, you all saw Leah held her cup up earlier today that said millions across it. You better come on and brand yourself. I love that. Come on, Amelie. So mine says, take time for yourself, period. And that's what I do. I believe in taking time for myself. And so you want to take the time to set up your space, to set up your environment. And a lot of people, I love this question. A lot of people post-COVID used to get on Zoom, and we know there are all these comedy videos where people get up and they're half dressed, right? They're dressed from the neck up or from the waist up. Not me, baby. I'm full on, okay? I'm not in a position to stand up because I got this green screen behind me. But baby, I'm fierce from top to bottom, shoes included. And so I show up the way that I want people to show up for me. I wouldn't come on Leah's show as a guest with a bonnet on. Well, you'll never see me in a bonnet. See my best. But I wouldn't come to her show with the bonnet on and pajamas and or have my camera off or come late. You show up the way that you want other people to show up for you. So before you start the journey of coffee chats, decide who you are and who you want to introduce yourself to people as. Decide what is your brand. And a lot of people don't have a brand. So I don't say just go willy-nilly, start having coffee chats with people. Have a coffee chat with yourself first, right? If you're beginning, and decide, what do I want to offer people? What do I have that's of value? All of us have something that's of value. All of us have something to offer. And then think about, why do I want to have coffee chats with people? If you're having coffee chats with people because your intention is to kind of secretly ambush them on the back end, coffee chats may not be best for you at this time. Really ask yourself that question. If you turn my mother's statement into a question, is how can I live my life in such a way that others are blessed from having knowing me? That might be a great place to start for your coffee chats. What can I give, authentically give to others? Because when you do that, I promise you, the universe will return it to you tenfold, 20-fold, 100-fold. You will receive it back, even if it's not from that person. So set up your environment. Your environment starts with your mindset. Get your mindset together, get your physical environment together, decide who you are, what you want to offer. And then if you decide to do coffee chats or hot chocolate chats, decide, why are you actually trying to meet with people? I meet with people, and it's part of my message is I want to know how I can support you. That's why I meet with people, because I want to know how I can support them. That may not be your reason. So one of the other things beginners can do is connect with me for an engagement session, right? For some visibility coaching as well.
Boom, boom, boom. And I love that you said, listen, we're business on the top, party on the bottom. We don't do that. No, 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 no. Head to toe. I do another show at 4 a.m. and people are like, how do you do? Yeah, I do full makeup, hair, and I'm dressed. You can't see me, you only see the top, but I think you give off a different aura when you are showing up fully prepared and dressed. You could walk in my office. I'm not going to be like wearing something crazy on the bottom here, right? I am always dressed and prepared, even if I don't have most of my clients I meet over a Zoom. However, I say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Gonna leave it right there. Here's a great question. Adventure Show. I'm not sure who you are. Is this your connection, Coach Carrie? Doesn't look familiar.
We're glad they're here.
We're glad you're here. I'd love to shout out your name, but I love this question here. What's the biggest mistake people make here?
Phenomenal question. And I think their name is showing up like that because they're on YouTube. And so whatever your YouTube handle is different from LinkedIn where it shows up as your name. And so I did see the little red and white square. I think that the biggest mistake people make is copying off of somebody else.
Yes.
Not being your authentic self. But Coach Carrie do coffee chats. I'm gonna do a coffee chat. Coach Leah got a show. I want a show. And so here's what I love. When I talk to I have to laugh, but my besties beyond borders, Layla, I was having a conversation with her and I was like, yeah, so when are you gonna do your podcast? And she was like, I want to do a podcast. That was an epiphany for me. I was like, wow, I love her for that because she stood in her authenticity. That's one of the reasons that made me love her even more. She said, I don't want to do a podcast. Like, I don't want to do a show where I'm by myself and I'm talking to people. So I think the biggest mistake that people make is really trying to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to do a video podcast. You don't have to do an audio podcast. You can do both, right? Or you can do neither. How amazing is that you get the gift of choosing what it is that you want to do? And so maybe you don't want to do coffee chats. Leah does no pitch coffee chats. Coach Carrie does no pitch coffee chats. Layla does. She's like, girl, I don't like coffee. I said, well, what you gonna do? She said, I'm gonna do hot chocolate chats. Well, get into it, okay? Come on, friend. So she does hot chocolate chats. I have another friend, Cachet, who uses the pronouns they, them, and she says, I always have to do everything backwards. She doesn't do a coffee chat. She does a chat chit. I said, well, go ahead on, get it. Do you, right? And so I love that. The biggest mistake that you can make is trying to be like somebody else. Listen, fakeness is going to show through. It's going to come through. People are going to know that you aren't real. Listen, keep it real 100% of the time because your tribe will find you. Your tribe will find you. I was being myself on Facebook, almost 7,000 followers. Hey, I got this conversation. I have this show going on. Do you guys want to come to this event? Quiet, quiet, quiet. Crickets, crickets, crickets. I was like, you know what? So I said, let me try TikTok. TikTok, I had a little more activity, but they still didn't show up to my events. I'm like, okay, so TikTok is not my tribe. Facebook is a great platform for family and friends, but not necessarily my tribe. It's like, where is my tribe? And then, baby, that red light on LinkedIn, that was the universe alignment because I didn't even know you could go live on LinkedIn. I had my LinkedIn account since 2014, never went live on LinkedIn. And I see this red light and I'm like, oh, what is that? Because I'm nosy. And so I go in and click the live and then I just start commenting because if I'm standing there talking to you, Leah, if we were face to face and Leah said, hey, Carrie, how are you? Don't that look crazy for me to just stand there and look at her and don't respond? That's the same way I feel about being at somebody's live events. Why would I be at your live event and I'm just sitting there looking crazy? I feel like the person I'm going to tell you all another secret to why I have so many comments because I feel like they're talking to me because they are. When I go to the event, I'm like, oh, they're talking to me and only me. And so that's why I'm in the comments. I'm like, girl, you know what? You're right. sir, say that again. And I'm actively engaging in the conversation because I feel like people are actually talking to me specifically. And so I make sure that I authentically and actively engage in the comment sections.
Boom. I love it. I love it. I don't know where this hour has gone to. I absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for your time. You made some new fans and friends, Coach Carrie. How can people reach you? I know they're going to want to connect with you and have that coffee chat. By the way, I think I'm going to call mine a coconut chat, right? Because I'm like into this coconut water. I'm like loving this, what did you say? The chocolate chat or hot chocolate chat. There you go. I think I'm going to go coconut chat, but here you go. Because I do tend to be a little nutty. But how do people reach you, Coach K?
All right. So you can reach Coach Carrie at Great Finances. That's GR, the number 8, and the word finances with an S at the end on every single social media platform. So if I were asking for something, and I am, my ask would be that you go to Substack and subscribe. I'm trying to get my followers up on Substack and on YouTube. So all of us are probably connected in one way or another on LinkedIn, but find me on Substack. Substack is a newer platform. It only has about 50 million followers or participants on that platform, but I absolutely love it. I love what you can do on that platform. And I love the way that it naturally syncs to LinkedIn. It automatically connects to YouTube. And so anything that you do there, you can also do here because those two platforms have a relationship. And so that's where you can find me. I think it's underneath my name. Yes, Urbane Gypsy, right? The present is the gift. And so when her comment is not there, if you guys go back and watch the replay, you'll see my handle, and then I'll drop everything in the comment sections if that's okay with Leah.
Absolutely. Please do share all your links, share everything. And normally I put the guests backstage, but I'm not going to do that this time. Okay. I want you here, and there's a reason for it, because we've been talking about reciprocity. We've been talking about connection and helping each other. I have an ask, and maybe somebody you know can help me. I'm asking for help. I'm phoning a friend. I'm asking for some assistance. Okay. Here's the thing. a lot of you don't know this, but I'm a tier 6 Google reviewer. I'm 2,600 points away from being level 7. Okay. So I've got over 1.3 million views on my Google reviews. So if you have a business, reach out to me. I'd love to review you. My ask is this. My Google account got blocked for my business because I was putting in things in there that they didn't agree with. I talked about wealth without risk, and they blocked me. They said there's no such thing as wealth without risk. And so they blocked my account. I have been trying for almost a year to get it unblocked. Who can help me? Who can help me? Who do you know? Yeah, know you know somebody. Do you know somebody at Google? I've done everything. I've talked to everyone. I've gone on all the YouTube videos. I've done everything, and no one can help me. So who do you know who can help me? If you do, I'm phoning a friend. I'm sending out the SOS. Let me know how I can get this unblocked, because I absolutely want to use my Google business, because obviously I'm a Google reviewer. It makes no sense for me not to have a Google My Business. Coach Carrie, you rock. I'm so glad that we had that No Pitch Coffee Chat. And by the way, as soon as I extended that invitation, she booked right there. Like we were booked in 15, like we were like talking right away. If somebody invites you, don't put it off for 3 or 4 months. Listen, we're talking about a few minutes. We're not talking about your firstborn. We're not talking about let me pick your brain. It's none of that. This is not a business conversation. If you're calling me to pick my brain about money, then we're going to move that to a different conversation. And, that goes a different way. But if you want to get to know me, you want to know about what I do, martial arts, you want to talk about the beach, my beautiful, precious grandson, or you just want to get to know somebody who maybe I could refer you to somebody, listen, that's a No Pitch Coffee Chat. This has been a lot of fun. I love it. And remember, this is 2026. This is your year to come out of the shadows and get in the mix. A closed mouth does not get fed. Secret agents don't get anything. Okay. So if you want to grow your business, if you're trying to build a brand, if you intend to make this your full time, which if you're here, it's because that's what you intend to do, then it is time for you to get your typing skills up and get in the comments. Shout someone out. Say something nice. Say something more than a thumbs up or that's awesome. Showcase who you are and what you stand for, and you will be dazzled and amazed how it will open doors for you. Thank you so much, Coach Carrie. I adore you. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. And if I have not had the opportunity to enjoy a coconut chat with you, please reach out to me, and we're going to definitely continue this conversation, my girl. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Wealthy Wednesday.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth, the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leahgarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.